Is goods agriculture practices. Goods agriculture practices is for growers. That is for not only for crops, it is for animals, livestock, manure, slurry. So it provides rules what to do in that purposes, what to do when crops are grown, which fertilizers are to be used, which pesticides are to be used. So these rules are provided by the GAP. So that is basically for safe human consumption. That is, products are provided for safe human consumption. So now we talk about the rules of GAP. So the first rule of GAP is condition for application of fertilizers near water courses. Meant this is the water course. Okay, so this is the field. Now conditions are provided that near the water course, does the fertilizers are to be used? Does the DDT, pesticides or this type of fertilizer are to be used near that? So these rules, these conditions are provided by the GAP. So what are the conditions? Now talk about that. So the first is when catchment area is less than or equal to 10 kilometers square. Now what is catchment area? When we talk about what is catchment area is the area from which rain flows into a particular river or lake, right? It is the area from which rain flows into a particular river or lake. So when a particular field or agricultural land is over there, so what is the condition is that when the catchment area is less than 10 kilometers square, width of the protective stream meant the space, the distance between the stream and the field. So that is the width of the protective stream. So that is 1 meter when the catchment area is less than or equal to 10 kilometers square and stream side slope is less than or equal to 5 degree. When the stream side slope is less than or equal to 5 degree, then the protective stream, then the width should be 1 meter. And when the stream side slope is 5 to 10 degree, stream side slope meant this is the stream and this is the slope. So this is the stream side slope. Okay. So the stream side slope is less than or equal to 5 degree, then the catchment area meant the width of the protective stream should be 1 meter. Width should be 1 meter. And when it is 5 to 10 degree, between 5 to 10 degree, the width of the protective stream should be greater than or equal to 2.5 meter. Why? Because the slope increases, right? The slope increases. Firstly it is 5 degree and now it is 5 to 10 degree. The slope increases. So the width also increases. Width is greater than or equal to 2.5 meter. And when it is more than 10 degree and up to infinity and so on, so the width should be greater than 5 meter. Meant up greater than 10 degree, it should be 20 degree, it should be 25 degree, it should be 30 degree. So then the width should be 5 meter, greater than 5 meter, depending on the stream side slope. Okay, so that is the first rule which is provided by the GAP. Now the second rule which is provided by the GAP is related to the crop rotation. Second rule is related to the crop rotation. Okay, what is crop rotation? Now we talk about what is crop rotation. Crop rotation meant growing of different crops on a single piece of land. Different crops are grown on a single piece of land year after year or season after season. Why? To control weeds, pests and diseases, to avoid exhausting of soil. So that is crop rotation. Okay, the rules which are provided by the GAP for crop rotation is in farms having more than 15 hectare of agricultural land. Meant farms having more than 15 hectare of agricultural land. 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 meters square. So 15 hectare meant 1,50,000 meters square of agricultural land is there. More than that, then 50% area should be covered by winter crops. Then the 50% area meant 7.5 hectare of land should be covered by the winter crops. Winter crops are also known as Rabi crops, right? Rabi crops like paddy, guar, cotton, groundnut. Okay, so arhar. So these are the winter crops which are grown. So the 50% area should be covered by the winter crops. In hilly areas, when we talk about the hilly areas, the slope is like that. So when the slope is 5, when the slope is equal to 5 degree. Okay, so then perennial grass should be grown over there, and perennial grass should be greater than or equal to 35 to 40 degree of total crop rotation area. Okay, perennial grass meant the grass which lives for more than 2 years. Meant the grass is grown and it does not dry for more than 2 years. So that is perennial grass. And when the slope is 5 to 7 degree, then 50% meant total area 50% of the total area is covered by the perennial grass. And when the slope is 7 to 10 degree, so the 65 to 80% of the total area is covered by the perennial grass. And when it is 10 to 15 degree, meant more than 10 degree, we can say, when it is more than 10 to 15 degree, perennial grass, all the area should be covered by the perennial grass. Meant no other crops should be grown over there, only perennial grass are to be planted over there. Okay, so that is the second rule which is provided by the GAP. Meant good agriculture practices provide the second rule related to the crop rotation. And now coming on to the third rule which is related to the animal density. Okay, third rule which is related to the animal density. So now talking about the animal density. What is animal density? Animal density means the area, a particular area, meant 1 hectare of area is there and a few animals are over there. So the total number of animals upon divided by the total area, meant a particular area, a single hectare or a single piece of land is covered by how many animals are there. So that is the animal density. Okay, so it provided that it should not exceed 1.7. So animal density should not be more than 1.7. It should be 1.7 hectare of agricultural land. Meant the animal density should be 1.7. It should not be more than 1.7. So this is the rule provided by the GAP for animals. Okay, meant you can't make a bulk of animals in a single piece of land. So it is animal density rule which is provided by the GAP. Now fourthly, it is capacity and construction of manure storage. So now talking about the manure storage, it related to the construction, what construction should be provided, what construction should be made related to the manure, and what type of capacity, meant which type of manure should be conserved over there. So related to the construction, manure storage should be constructed in farms keeping more than 10 animal units. 10 animal units. Animal units, what do you mean by animal units? Animal units meant like a cow which is having weight 454 kg. Okay, with or without unweaned calf is related to 1 animal unit. Okay, that is related to 1 animal unit. A cow having 454 kg of weight with or without an uneven calf, right? So that is animal unit. So there are 10 animal units over there. Okay, so the manure storage should be constructed in farms that are having 10 animal units. Except, what is the exception over there? Exception is that farms keeping animals on deep litter, meant the farms which are keeping its animals on basement, meant the deep litter meant the basement area, meant the underground. So that is the meant the storage is provided for animals in the underground. So that is the deep litter. So animals are kept on where farms having animals on deep litter, so manure storage is not constructed over there. So that is the exception. Exceptional case is there. And what about the size? What about the capacity? Relating to the size, it should contain livestock, horse and sheep manure of 6 months. But meant it should conserve manure of livestock. Livestock meant animals that are kept on a farm, right? So horse, sheep, cow, this manure is kept for 6 months. The storage capacity is provided like that. And for pig and poultry, manure should be kept for 8 months. 8 months manure should be kept for pig and poultry. So that is about the capacity, the size of the manure storage. Now nextly, which is the rule which is provided by the GAP is related to periods when the application of fertilizers is inappropriate. Meant when the manure or the slurry should be spread in different areas. Meant in snow areas, in no snow areas, in dry areas, what is the rule, what should you follow so that you can make your food safe, make your manure safe. So what is that? In snow areas, manure and slurry spread from 15 March to 1 December. In snow areas, like where the snow is, like in Himachal or in any other area where snow is there, so manure and slurry should be spread from 15 March to 1 December. So that is the time period. Okay. In no snow areas, where there is no snow, like in South India, so there are in South India in no snow areas is there, so manure is spread in cold season only, like in November, December. So this is basically the rules or the condition which GAP provides related to farmers, so that it should get more knowledge. Okay. Now sixthly is establishment of fertilization plans. Fertilization plans is what? Fertilization plans is planning related to the soil. It is planning related to the pH of the soil. It's related to the quality of the soil, nutrient of the soil, right? What type of soil is that? It's black soil, red soil, loamy soil, clayey soil, right? What is the soil condition? So that is the fertilization plans. So fertilization plans are not for every agricultural land. It should be made only for what? Agricultural land which is more than 15 hectare. 15 hectare agricultural land and more than that, fertilization plan should be made for that only. Not for 1 hectare, not for 2 hectare, it's for more than 15 hectare of land. Fertilization plan should be made for that. Okay, so that is the rules. And nextly, a 7th rule which is provided by the GAP is rate and uniformity of spreading fertilizers and livestock manure. Meant livestock manure meant the nitrogen or the fertilizer content in that manure should not exceed 170 kilogram. Meant the nitrogen content in the livestock manure should not be more than 170 kilogram of hectare. Okay. So that is the 7th rule which is provided by the GAP. Now the 8th is the construction of the shallow dug wells. Dug wells where we can generate water, we can consume our household water or for agriculture field. So what is the construction should be made over there? Width of dug wells protective zone from living house is 7 meter. Right, like this is the house and this is the well. Like, okay, so the width should be 7 meter. Okay, from living house, and for outhouse it should be 10 meter. It should be 10 meter for outhouse, and for barn and manure storage, when there is a storage of manure, so the width should be 25 meter. So the 25 meter width should be provided for manure storage. Meant the distance between the manure storage and the well should be 25 meter. And nextly and last is the rule provided related to the pesticides. The pesticides rule which GAP provided is that it should only be the registered pesticide. Only registered pesticides should be used. No other pesticide should be used over there which is not registered, because that is harmful for the crop also, for the water sources also, and for human consumption also. So keeping in mind all these things, rules are provided by the GAP. Like in GMP, rules are provided for the manufacturing processes. So GAP also provide rules related to that. So these are the rules which you have to keep in mind. Okay, thank you so much and keep watching.